let's dive into the Orange County real estate market. So, I had originally projected that median sales price and closed transaction volume would go down in December of 2020. And it's because of the seasonality of real estate. Typically, there are less buyers in the winter. More people are trying to spend time with their family, buying gifts, or getting prepared for the holidays. The weather isn't as nice. They prefer to wait until they get their taxes done or when the weather gets a little bit better. So that's what happens in the winter. And November showcased that. So closed volume in October 2020 was 6.9 billion, and that dropped to 5.6 billion in November of 2020. So that was almost a 1.5 billion dollar decrease, which is a lot. It's a huge decrease, right? And I was thinking that December is probably going to head in that direction as well, and it actually increased. So it went from 5.6 billion in November 2020 last month to 6.2 billion in December of 2020. So almost a $800 million increase. Now, the crazy thing about this closed volume number isn't necessarily the amount of closed volume, because this is the fourth highest that we've had this year following October, September, and August, but it's the year over year increase. So it's 41% higher than it was December 2019. Let me say that again, 41% higher. That's a lot more activity. So when we look at sales price, which is another figure that I was wrong about my projection for, it's currently at $795,000 for December of 2020. In November of 2020, it was $790,000, so a $5,000 increase. Not a super high increase, but it's 11.2% higher than it was just 1 year ago. Now that's a lot of equity that a lot of people are gaining. So to put that in a numeric value, 795,000 is what it is in December 2020. In December 2019, that is $715,000. So that's an $80,000 increase. This is why I always urge people who have the means and who can make the payments comfortably to purchase as soon as possible. It's impossible to predict what the market is going to look like, but it usually goes up year over year. And if you had purchased just 1 year ago, you'd be looking at about $80,000 more equity, right? If you had purchased so let's just say you purchased 3 years ago. So right now we're looking at 2020. If you had purchased in 2018, 3 years ago, that was $662,500, right? So that is about $130,000 to $140,000 less or more equity that you would have. That's a lot of money that you're missing out on if you're waiting to purchase a home and you already have the means to. Again, it's different for every person depending on their circumstances and their situation, but that's why we always try to push people like, hey, it might be a good idea to purchase a home if you have a high paying job and you have the means. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's jump into active listings. So active listings in Orange County decreased. So it was about 4,457 in November of 2020. And now we're looking at about 4,059 in December 2020. That's 18.1% less listings than we did have 1 year ago. Now, we've had this problem for quite some time now, pretty much since May or June, where we have a lot less listings and a lot more buyers. So it's a little bit more difficult to purchase your home. These homes are selling for a little bit more just because of the law of supply and demand, right? So there's a little bit of homes, there's a lot of buyers. When people are bidding on the same home, driving up the price of the home. So when we look at months supply for Orange County, it dropped to the lowest it probably has ever been, but at least on record here that I'm looking at, It's 1.6 months supply. What that means is if no homes were listed in Orange County, it will take 1.6 months for all the homes that are currently listed already to be sold. That's super fast. A balanced market where it's not a seller's market like it is right now, or a buyer's market would be about 6 to 7 months. So we're in an extreme seller's market. If you have a home and you're looking to sell, it might make sense to sell it right now. So in the spring and in the summer, a lot of sellers tend to list their homes, and that brings up the inventory month supply. But if you're a seller and you're just worried about trying to sell your home for the highest net, then selling it right now might make sense because there's not that much supply and more people are going to bid more for your home, theoretically, right? Now, when we look at days on market is 12 days on market as of December 2020. It did increase 1 day, but it's still, 11 days, 12 days. That's still exceptionally fast. So from the day that a home is listed to the day that a home hits escrow takes 12 days. To give you an idea and to compare it to just 5 years ago when it was about 2015, 2016, the lowest month was June 2015, where it was 47 days on market. So homes are selling almost 1 month faster than they were just 5 years ago.